arts and entertainment. They used to sing opera, now they sing soul. What happened? They got a drop of blood. Look, there was no such thing as a pale face that sing like Adele in 1905. You did not have a Joss Stone in 1915. You did not have a Christina Aguilera in 1920. You did not have a Shakira in the 1930s. So they was using us to do all of the entertainment while they assimilate the drop of blood. And the assimilation of the drop of blood in the great melting pot allows them to express soul force energy. And this is how you know if they really from the old stock or if they've been revitalized with a drop of blood. They used to couldn't dance. Now they hip hop masters.
Yeah.
Break dancing, pop locking, and the whole nine.
Yeah.
When you ain't got no soul, you can't assimilate that frequency in order to match the beat. But when you get your drop of blood, for some reason, you like the jerk with Dean Martin. I got the beat. Look, Granny, I got the beat. Yeah. The one drop of blood that went to work and bailed you out. So now the ones that was kept as Lululemon, human pets, now also has ascension rights, the same as the ones that's the first stock, or what we call the firstborn of the earthborn, the originals, the organic to all parts of the planet. Wherever you find us is where we supposed to be, because we was already there wherever you standing.
Right.
They want us to believe some shit called the Out of Africa theory, but they don't know the Akan tribe that's on the far east coast of Africa come from the Americas, and that's why we called it the Afar Inca, which means the Afar tribe that moves, right? And Inca mean people. The Afar people that moved at a distance, they move far away. And this is called the Amaru Inca. Right, and the Amaru has been put under the catch term as more in modern times to confuse us as to who we is versus who those conquistadors that came were. Because it sounds close enough to who we are, we give the benefit of the doubt to the lost in translation doctrine. Because now those who was classified in the French as Moray become more in English. And the ones that was in the native tongue, Amaru, becomes more in English, and they two different people. And that's why we couldn't never get out of the trap. Go back. Denmark Vesey, a nigga turned him in. Gabriel Prosser, a nigga turned him in. Nat Turner, a nigga turned him in. Noble Drew Ali, some niggas let the police have him. That was supposed to have been his security. Marcus Garvey was reported by a Negro about his stock in the never knowing that Garvey was sold faulty ships on purpose by people that was trying to sabotage his movement. They didn't know that he was building the trade route. They thinking he trying to take all of us to Africa. That don't even make sense. Why would you take all these lazy, shiftless deadbeats over to Africa to be lazy, shiftless deadbeats? You need to take soldiers if you're going to build. Go back and look at the pictures of Garvey. He didn't have regular people behind him. He had soldiers because they was dressed in uniform. And they was ready to take over till he read in the Masonic Memorial about the blood conjuring, the 200-year contract. That stopped him from going to war 100 years ago. Because it was 100 years balance into 2012 because we gave them an extension with the war 1812. That's how the devil got the extension. Because we took them back to bloody war in the middle of the contract. When we were supposed to educate ourselves out of condition. Raise yourself up by your own bootstraps. I ain't got no boots. Right? So what did we do? We went out, took some trees, put some leaves together, made some leaf and stick boots so we can put some boots on. So we go back to nature no matter what you say. Just because we don't have your hard bottom buckle boots you brought from Europe don't mean we don't know how to make our own boots. It's just that they don't want us to make our own boots, so they make us believe that only they boots count, ours don't.
Damn. That's all I got. Damn. Somebody said this is soul grand. Key said this is so grand. This is so good. So, so one person had a question. They wanted to know why was collecting feathers illegal, or why is that?
So you don't practice your tribal traditions. That's all. They use the false pretense of endangered species, but they the ones killing them. The same people telling you you can't use their feathers is the same one that put them on the endangered species list to begin with by harvesting them above their reproductive rate, poisoning them with DDT. So they don't want you. Everything that we did by our natural cultural phenomenons have been, you have to have a license. A license is to do something that's illegal in the system you in. You need a license to go fishing. We didn't need fishing licenses before they came because we lived off the fat of the land and we went fishing regular. You need a license to hunt. That was part of the father-son building time, is teaching them how to hunt the fat of the land, so he didn't never have to have a whole cattle herd in order to survive. That's why they killed off the buffalo. They killed off the bison because it was polyunsaturated fat, and they gave us the bovine beef, which is saturated fat that clogs the brain and gives you Alzheimer's and dementia by the time you reach senior citizen.
Like that mad cow disease, that's what I think.
That's a protein. Mad cow disease is a programmed protein, programmed in the laboratories. It's synthetic proteins.
Mm. Mm. Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah,
You know,
collecting rainwater is illegal. Driving it across the land is illegal.
wait, back up.
Licenses,
Collecting
listen,
rainwater is illegal?
yeah, but you need a permission slip from your local slave master in order to collect rainwater. This is how you know they don't belong here. Because anything that you do to facilitate living on the fat of the land where you don't need their system is punishable by their law. Your sovereign capacity, your desire to be free from the restrictions of governmental oversight is a problem to the government that wants to exploit you. It's not a problem to your tribal family that want to see you blossom and be your best self and live your best life. This is the major difference in this false government, in the restoration of the tribal matriarchal government. The matriarchal government, you don't neglect one child.
Mm-hmm.
There's no such thing as child neglect under the matriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Mothers work in teams in order to make it easier for all of the mothers on the team. But under the patriarchy, the mother works solitary, and she takes on all of that weight, and then she get trapped in caregiver syndrome. And as she get older, her body begins to break down because she never gets a reprieve. She never gets the right kind of support system because her sisterhood was broke up by a broken mirror spell at the crossroads. That's why you have women talking about they can't get along with other women. It ain't that they can't get along with other women. They don't know that the spell for them to not get along with other women is working on them. As long as they don't know that that's a spell, it's called the broken mirror spell. It's since been reversed, but there's still what's called the residual or the tail of the pixie dust that has to be worked through by you realizing that the sisterhood, which is a group of mothers in any given community that come together to give mutual assistance with the rearing the children. This is the village that it takes to raise the child. Some mothers need a day off and they want to leave their children with somebody they trust. I'll leave them with my sister, but my best friend, that bitch better not try to keep my kids with them people that live in her house. It don't mean I got a problem with my best friend. She's just not fit to be a caregiver of my child because of the way she manages her household. But all of the like-minded sisters come together and they know, well, you know, Sharita need a break this week, y'all. You think we're going to take our kids with us and let her go to the spa and send her on a spa day so she can relax? Because she been wound up fighting with the schools and fighting with the church about her babies. So they come in, they take the babies off her hand, they send her on spa day. She might have one or two of the sisters that go with her to make sure she actually relax and actually enjoy her time away from the children long enough to reset before you go back in the mother mode so that you can be in your highest frequency of mother, which makes you be a walking goddess on earth, which brings heaven back to earth. The environment of the woman that has that support system is always peaceful and harmonious. And they always accusing those mothers that's riding that energy of having OCD. That's not OCD, she's nesting. Get out her way and let her nest. That's it. And the sisters normally come through and help her, especially the ones that got a large family in a big old house. They know my sister can't do all that shit on her own. We're going to go over there. She got 14 bedrooms to work on. So they had cleaning parties. When they get done cleaning up, they sit around, have girl talk and sip wine, and the father's got the kids right now. But we don't remember our culture, so we letting these other people tell us how we supposed to live. But all tribes didn't live the same because all tribes had their own vine and fig tree. They had their own code of ethics, their own way of doing stuff, and this is how they was using this to turn us against each other. Because different tribes got different practices. What my tribe practice and what's in our literature, it's not the same as the vice lords in their literature. But we all got our own vine and fig tree. When we remember that, this allows us to rebuild and restructure according to who we are as opposed to who they told us to be. They told us to be their slave victim. I didn't feel like being nobody's victim and I didn't feel like being nobody's slave. I tried to tell them, they thought I was crazy. So I just decided to unravel their code system out in the public domain using the oral tradition and the grandfather clause to activate the grandmother clause to restore the matriarchy to protect the children that overrides all of their legal systems of the known world. So since Big Mama's system override all their systems, they all got to tear them down because Big Mama said so. And she sent me to make sure it get done by cracking their codes.
Ooh-wee. You know you sent by the galactic, Rod. All this information that you have, ain't nowhere in the world. Ain't no way. If anybody got any question about that, you definitely was sent by the galactic. They was tired of this shit we was going through down here. You definitely was sent.
Well, they was indifferent to it. It was us who was tired of it. You gotta remember that. They was indifferent to it. Because as long as we was accepting it and going along with it, they had no reason to interject. But when we started protesting and resisting it, now they have to send support systems to come in and show you the step-by-step measures to break free and to free the mind from the psychological traps. So they appointed me because my extra dumbass was too smart for my own good.
So
And
when
I
did you realize you were appointed? When did you realize that you were appointed to do this? When?
When I was about 3 years old and my mama said, you got a mission from God. I've been sitting there looking at her like she crazy, talking about who the fuck is God and why he sending me on a mission. I still remember being baptized by my big mama. She baptized me in Jewtown in Chicago. Told
Wow.
my mama I was the baron. I came to make them all pay. I ain't know what it meant back then. I was a baby, but now I know what it means. But back then, I ain't know what the fuck she was talking about. Who the fuck is the baron and why she calling me this shit? But when you start studying outside of the doctrines of the church, then you start running into who these people is that the ancestors and the elders is telling you about. If you can trace yourself to somebody named Sonny, that was a high chief. All of the chiefs
I
had
got an uncle
some kind of
named Sonny.
name dealing. Yep, he's a chief. He's a chief by birth. That's why he. That's why they call him that. It might not be his birth name, but they still gonna call him Sonny, Sonny Boy,
Yeah.
Little Sonny, Big Son, all that. That's mean he a chief by birth, not by elections. He was born to be a chief, but he might not never come into his own because we're not operating in our system.
Mm.
Right.
My mama's
All of the
from.
people,
Go ahead.
all of the ones in our family that carry the middle name Lee,
Mm-hmm.
they are contractually related to the ancient Asian families, the royal families of Asia. That's a contract. We keep the contract alive by naming our children. I got an auntie named Verdi Lee, her daughter named Bobby Lee, my father named Arthur Lee, his brother named Henry Lee. That's to honor that contract with the iron workers on the railroad.
My uncle's name is Espily.
Mm-hmm.
Italy.
That's
I have an uncle named Italy,
mm-hmm.
and it's my
that's
dad's
that's
brother.
yeah. That's the contract that we have with the royal families of Asia. And this is why Trump was so easy to get Kim Jong-un on board when he went over there, because he understood all of those um, um, birthright leaders of Asia know who we are, and they was waiting on that visit from Trump for almost 1,000 years.
Mm.
That's the story of Sun Wukong's journey to the West to recover the 10 scrolls of wisdom, which is the 10 scrolls they use to oppress us. Economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, and health is the common denominator. Because if you don't got good health, none of the rest of them matter. Yeah, but those are contracts. Those are ancient contracts. We use it in the name because when I use it in the middle name, that's called the key name. The key name is the name that tells you the family contract is to tie you to what royal family. Those are the dragon clans. But we don't know dragon mean master when it's talking about people. But when you talking about reptiles, you talking alligators and crocodiles and Sobek priests. But it's in the culture. It's never gonna die. As long as we here, we gonna find a way to re-express it. Especially those ones that's called the salt of the earth. These are the ones that changes the musical standard of the planet. We change the fashion standard of the planet. We change the entertainment standards of the planet because that salt is what makes the beauty of life stands out. And that salt is the soul. And those come with the soul produce the soul music. And we change the music according to the children that's being born in the era. That's how we went from ragtime to hip hop. It's all in the culture.
Mm. Mm-mm.
You can see videos of people in the 50s and the 40s that
Mm.
they got in black and white and they rapping their ass
Mm.
off. But they're probably rapping about some church shit. But they rapping with
You're right.
bars, right?
Mm-hmm.
When in New Orleans is where the common term "what's your rap, nigga?" That's what that's come from. When we used to meet in New Orleans, if you was a chief and they say what's your rap is telling them who you are, where you from, and how you operate. So when you meet another chief and you know, because he gonna say, "What's your rap?" So they asked me, "Rod, what's your rap?" I'm like iced out jewels with a platinum. I'm like iced out jewels with this platinum style. My game blue smooth like a black and mild. Honey say she wanna step on the scene of similar to a sex symbol, if you know what I mean. Ice cream and a dream she be craving at night for me to whisper in the ear it's gonna be alright. Game tight, leave a body in a state of ecstasy, and every lady in the club wanna dance with me. See, I'm the type to stand all the tests of time, make love to the body and seduce the mind. Twisted in this rhyme, real platinum style. Got a line around the corner about a half a mile. Honeys lined up just to see it from real. They grabbing on my arms just to cop and feel. Asking all type of questions, just experience games. Sliding phone numbers, pictures, and telling me names.